Hello and welcome to another episode of The Hub on Vital MX, your one-stop shop for motocross news from around the world. And this week, there is a long list of items to attack as round 2 of 2025 Monster Energy AMA Supercross in San Diego claimed multiple riders. Some sustained more serious injuries than others, but we'll get into all of that on this episode of The Hub. Breaking news just as this episode of The Hub was about to go live, so forgive us for jamming this in here at the final minute. The Lawrence brothers sent a statement to myself detailing immediate changes to their management structure. The statement says this: over the last 2 weeks, we became suspicious of potentially fraudulent activity related to one of our business accounts. Following an initial investigation, we became aware of and in possession of evidence of misuse and misappropriation of our personal funds by our agent Lucas Mirtl for his benefit, and as of 9 a.m. Eastern this morning, we have fired him. Further, Wasserman has fired him as well, and we will continue our investigation and turn over all findings to the relevant authorities shortly. Wasserman will continue to represent us with Jacob Hayes and Travis Clark taking over management duties. Heartbreaking for the Lawrences, financial situation aside, because Lucas Mirtl was of course with them for so long and, to be frank, a member of the family. So you can only imagine how they feel. In addition, I have now also received a statement from Wasserman exclusively, which says, following an initial investigation, we became aware of evidence of misuse and misappropriation of client funds by Lucas Mirtl, and as of January the 23rd, Lucas is no longer employed at Wasserman while we continue our investigation. Hunter and Jet Lawrence simultaneously terminated their relationship with Lucas in all capacities. However, Wasserman will continue to represent Hunter and Jet with Jacob Hayes and Travis Clark taking over management duties. The reason why Hunter and Jet reached out to me with this statement as well as Wasserman is, of course, they need to focus on Anaheim 2, the third round of Monster Energy AMA Supercross this weekend. So, hopefully, by Saturday, they will be able to put this in the past. They won't be commenting further, and they can focus on the task at hand, which for Jet is reclaiming the red plate in the 450 SX class. Red Bull KTM Factory Racing's Aaron Plessinger is okay after a hard crash in the 450 main event. Initially, it seemed as though he had sustained a hand injury, but that is not the case. He is just beat up and motivated to return to top form at Anaheim 2 this weekend. To add to his issues, Plessinger was also sick in San Diego, along with Cooper Webb, Hunter Lawrence and Jason Anderson, so you can expect better showings from all of those riders when gates drop this weekend. By now, everyone has of course seen or heard about the Joe Shimoda incident. He broke 2 fingers after contact with a pit board in timed qualification. Fortunately, he managed to salvage a 7th in the 250 main event. He will take time off this week, get some recovery in, and hopes to be a little better this weekend. Of course, there will not be a miracle. It's highly unlikely that he will contend for a podium at A2, but perhaps he can push for top 5 and keep his title bid alive, which is all he hopes to do before the series heads east. And then the goal is, once 250 West resumes, to be a lot healthier and in a position to pick up his title challenge. Like Joe Shimoda, Ty Masterpool sustained a suspected finger injury in San Diego. The reason that Masterpool's is only suspected is because all Kawasaki have said is that he withdrew from the main event. Not very helpful. But after the race, I did see Masterpool with a cast on his hand and fingers, so quite clearly there is an injury there. His status for Anaheim 2 remains unclear, but considering his lack of Supercross experience, the fact that he isn't in contention for any sort of championship position, I don't know why they would rush his recovery and put him out there when he's less than 100% and in further danger. Time will tell. We expect an update from Kawasaki on Thursday or Friday. AEO Power Sports KTM had a difficult time of it in San Diego. Avery Long and Talon Hawkins crashed in the same rhythm section at different times. Avery Long had arguably a harder crash. He brought out a red flag in the LCQ. He sustained a nasty hit to the head, but other than that, he's just beat up and sore. He's questionable for A2, but almost certainly he will be on track in Glendale next weekend. That will also be the first Triple Crown of the season. Talon Hawkins, on the other side of the coin, suffered a broken femur and will be out for some time. A tough blow for Hawkins, who is still trying to find his feet at the professional level and establish himself after exiting the Rockstar Energy Husqvarna factory racing team. A lot of injuries, of course, but we will add a rider for Anaheim 2 this weekend, as Enzo Lopes will ride for Bar-X Yamaha. And considering how competitive Lopes was in WSX aboard a Yamaha, which was tuned similarly, I would expect Lopes to be quite competitive at Anaheim 2 and in the picture for a top 7, top 6. He will certainly add a touch of flavour to 250SX West, which has had a tough go thus far. Another interesting story to watch out for this weekend is that Ryan Brees, who is actually racing with a torn ACL, a torn MCL and a little meniscus tear, will race ArenaCross in Oklahoma on Friday night and then Anaheim 2 on Saturday. His Moto Concepts teammate Vince Freeze will also do similar. Freeze, of course, is 16 points up on Michael Hicks in the ArenaCross series, so has a little buffer heading into Oklahoma this weekend. Reverting back to last weekend, Dean Wilson won the second round of the British ArenaCross Championship in London's Wembley Arena. Wilson won from Conrad Muse and Tommy Searle. Quite a popular podium for a British race. I don't know if the promoters could get much better than that. There is no round of that series this weekend. That will resume next weekend in Belfast, Ireland. Of course, all of this pales in comparison to round 3 of Monster Energy AMA Supercross at Anaheim 2 this weekend. The weather forecast is a little questionable. Depending on what day you check and what website you check, there is some rain in the air, the potential for rain around 4 p.m. on Saturday, but to be honest, it seems like such a small amount and the forecast seems so indecisive that I do not expect it to be a factor, besides the fact that it will perhaps be overcast and drizzle or spit at some point. But I am certainly not expecting a mudder as we record this, but that could, of course, change. What a way to shake up 2025 Monster Energy AMA Supercross even further. That's all for this week, so we will be back in 7 days' time to recap another week in the world of motocross. The week that was is, of course, the focus of the hub on Vital MX. Thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and we will see you in 7 days' time.